Okay, Bulls Nation, lead executive of the Chicago Bulls, Arturas Karnisovas, had a busy Tuesday before their Bulls-Bucks game, making two different trades, bringing in Jaden Ivey, the former lottery pick from Detroit, and Mike Conley, the vet from Minnesota, in a three-team trade, sending Huerter and Dario Saric, who arrived in the previous trade, to Detroit. And then, shortly thereafter, another trade sending the vet center, Nikola Vucevic, to Boston for Anfernee Simons. The team's also swapping second-round picks. Bulls getting one in 26 and the Celtics in 27. All right, gentlemen, we've had a little bit of time to absorb this, and who knows, we still could have more trades between now and Thursday afternoon. But, Dave, how are you grading these trades out a few hours after they've happened?
Thank you, Matthew Peck, for that.
You're very welcome.
I would say for the Huerter trade, I'd give that a B-. And my reasoning is this. Kevin Huerter was trash from three. He was shooting 31% from three. That is putrid and pathetic for someone who's supposed to be your threat. Not just your shooter, but your threat who teams are supposed to worry about. He was not great from three. He did other things well. Yes, he did. He contributed on the offense and defensive end many, many games. We saw him. But primarily, this is why the trade was made. Detroit needed help with three-point shooters. And they're like, oh, yeah, that Kevin Huerter guy is doing it, right? No. he hasn't been great. But we'll see what he does in Detroit. So the fact that the Bulls can get what I think is some positive value back for him in a guy like Jaden Ivey. Again, the injury is there, but the skill set we know is there as well. And the young man, he can shoot the basketball. He can create his own shot. He still is young, and he has 30 games to kind of prove himself. And I feel like this is a low-risk, high-reward kind of thing for the Bulls. And I feel like if you can get that for a role player, for a guy like Kevin Huerter, for me, that's a solid B- for that for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'd even go a little bit higher, maybe even a B+.
Okay.
Just because I feel like you're taking a shot on a high upside young player. Granted, he is in the final year of his deal. You're running up against restricted free agency, and that could be a problem. And frankly, he has not been very good this year. He's coming off of two real serious injuries that he's nursing. And so he has not looked great, but this is a buy low on a former top 5 pick. And it's unlike previous trades where you're actually selling high to get the buy low player, like the Caruso for Giddey swap, like the Lonzo for Okoro swap. In this, you're just giving up Kevin Huerter, who I don't think was part of the plans. You can say what you will about his performance. I just don't think he was a long-term fit. And so you're basically bringing Ivey in advance of his restricted free agency to get a look at him. And for the price of taking on Mike Conley's contract, does not sound like he's going to be around long-term, whether it's a buyout or another trade. He's probably not going to factor in. And so basically, you're probably looking at this as though the Bulls are going to go after Ivey in restricted free agency. You may as well rent out some of that cap space early and get a chance to see what he looks like. We'll see how that goes, but I think this was just smart business and really no real risk. So I'll give it a B+.
And like Mike Conley, it is also very possible that we see the Bulls flip Anfernee Simons in yet another trade. And I know, Goat, you were pointing out to us in our previous chat that he could not be aggregated, so it would have to be a more simple player-for-player kind of trade situation. But even knowing that, whether Simons is not part of the team's long-term future, the swap essentially could net the Bulls this 32nd overall pick in this year's upcoming draft, early second round coming from the New Orleans Pelicans via Boston, whereas they'd be sending Boston out the Denver second round pick in 27, which, assuming the Nuggets are still the Nikola Jokic Nuggets, is a late second round pick. So when Bulls fans were wondering, could they get anything at any point for Vooch, the wily vet who has been here far too long, essentially, you're getting a high second-round pick for a very late second-round pick, and there is some value there.
Absolutely. I would give this one probably a B or maybe a B-, just because I think you are giving up some stuff here. Obviously, the second-round pick is not nothing. You just acquired that in the Dario Saric deal. So you are offloading some value, but I think to move up in the second round the Pelicans probably will stack up some wins in silly season when some of these other teams are really tanking. So maybe it's the 35th pick. Those are really valuable picks, and basically doing it to take on the $6 million in difference between Anfernee Simons and Vooch's contract. And then maybe Simons does something for you. Maybe you're able to flip him. And so I think it's just stacking these small wins. That's really what they're going to have to do. I view this as hitting singles which is not a home run. Obviously, you're not going to like score a bunch of runs that way, but it's not grounding into double plays, which is what I think this team has done over the past 4 years. So there's still a lot of work to be done. They still need to figure out how they're going to get a star player in here to make all this stuff fit together. But this is now a roster in flux, and I think this is just another move that kind of gets you on the right path, and we'll see where they take it from here.
Ground into triple plays is more like it. I gave it a B+, strictly because Nikola Vucevic was considered untradeable. Like, you were shocked that you were going to get any kind of value for him. I remember reading those reports a few weeks ago saying, well, it looks like Nikola Vucevic is going to be here with the Chicago Bulls, or they're not getting back what they want from that young man.
AK still holding out for that first.
Still holding out for that first. It's why he didn't go to Golden State.
Ridiculous.
We read the report originally with Anfernee Simons. There was a first-round pick attached to that, and the Bulls tried to get that, and they couldn't get that. And after that, I was like, well, there's no way, nobody believed it was going to happen. So the fact that it happened and the fact that they got some high-end value, because I really like Anfernee Simons. He can play. I don't think he's going to stay, but I think he can absolutely play. The fact they got that and some capital with that, for me, that is a win. That is a huge win to get off of something that is the final piece of your original construction of what you have for this team. You had to move on from him to signal to everybody else, hey, man, we're moving on. It's time to go.
I think I would generally agree with you guys that, if in a vacuum, I would feel comfortable assigning both of these trades somewhere in the B to B plus range. Mm-hmm. You got to grade AK on a curve.
Okay.
And the curve is his own past line of work.
Fair.
He's got more work to do before he earns back the trust of this Bulls fan. And while you may have shuffled around some more pieces, it signified with the Vooch trade in particular, again, the closing of a previous chapter and hopefully the opening of a new one. Mm-hmm. I think this team still is grossly lacking in star talent and talent that can take them from the play-in tournament perennials to something better than that. So I'm glad to see these moves made. I'm glad to see the Bulls active this time of year. Curious to see what the next trade or trades look like between now and Thursday. Mm-hmm. You better keep knocking it out of the park. Like you said, it's not home run singles. Okay. For AK, in my opinion, a single is a home run because I'm used to watching that dude bat a negative percentage.
Keep getting on base.
So we'll see. Some work done. Many, many, many works yet to be done for the Bulls here in this part of the in-season trade deadline. We will be here covering it all when news breaks.